Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the Creator Podcast right here on Jordan Creates TV. And I have three or so different subjects to discuss on this podcast. So, the first subject is going to be basically the current state of affairs, the current state of things. The second one will be mental health tips and tricks and sort of well-being tips and advice that I can share with you. The third is going to be and how creative aspects and how it relates to you as a creator. So this current time and such that we're going through. So the first thing indeed is going to be that since we literally did the last podcast on here, which was just 2 weeks ago, right? There has been basically a mass worldwide panic, a spreading out throughout the earth. People seem to have lost their marbles. People are going insane, eating insane amounts of ice cream. I don't know what's happening to people, guys, but there's clearly all kinds of shenanigans happening all around the world and around here in different countries. But of course, the virus is spreading. This unfortunate pandemic has happened recently, and therefore it has kind of put the whole of planet Earth on hold. So in 2020, everybody thought this was going to be their year. Finally people were like, yes, now I can do all of my dreams. Finally, I can work harder than I've ever worked. This year is going to be my year. I'm going to start up a business. I'm going to earn loads of money, whatever it might be, or whatever the hell it may be that you were thinking. As of right now, you can kiss your plans bye-bye. Unfortunately, this virus has other plans, and not only has it caused unfortunate amounts of deaths and things like that. Like people having to stay inside and government shutting down and putting people into lockdown. But that's no problem in comparison to the bigger issue that it has caused, and that the main issue here that it has caused is this issue of a long-term economic collapse, basically a recession, basically, or current collapse of our economies. So similar to what happened in 2008, and of course this has happened before. We have had economic collapses previously to this. However, this is so unprecedented, so unexpected, and such a slap in the face to sort of every country all at once that it is going to be a remarkable way that this is going to spread, and I mean the crash of the economies will spread around the world. So of course, America has currently just announced $2 trillion bailout, quite literally the most amount of money I think ever that has been spent on anything in history, and indeed, or has indeed been printed out of thin air, which is exactly how they're doing it, of course, obviously through the Federal Reserve Bank of America, and just adding to more debt of their economy and indeed the world. However, I digress onto a little tangent there. The point is, guys, is this is going to be a crazy, long-lasting economic impact now in the next few months. So who knows how long this is going to, from when it's going to start and how long it's going to last. But for example, 500,000 people in the UK have signed up for universal credit, basically. So what the usual sign is for unemployment, which is a sign of an economic, meltdown or an economic crisis typically, and the economy's collapsing. However, this has happened like in the space of the last 9 days, and this is only the very, very start. So it's just going to be interesting to see where things go, because the unfortunate thing on the other side of this, whether it be 1 month, 2 months, when lockdown finishes for most of our countries and people go back to work, is there going to be any work? Is there going to be any jobs left? And then the unfortunate reality is, no, there's not going to be, and because many people have already been laid off right now. So hence many people applying for credit and universal credit and government bailing everyone out and so forth, printing money. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how well, America, England, Europe, and other developed countries are going to deal with that, how they're going to bail themselves out, how they are going to get themselves out of this crisis, dig themselves up out of the pit, if you will, the pit of snakes, hissing snakes down below, and in order to escape out into the sunny lands of their freedom. So yeah, it will be interesting to see. So that is the current state of affairs of things right now. Obviously, people are dealing with it in different ways. I personally am pretty happy. I mean, I have everything I need. Like I have a very blessed and happy life. And yeah, I go out every day to the park and play football for a few hours, and I keep myself away from anyone. Although I was playing football with a few really friendly people who I met in the park. However, the beauty of football is that you don't go near each other. We were playing some crossings, so yeah, I didn't go near anyone and things like that. So it was awesome for me. I'm really happy. And it was also the last 2 days here in England, the UK, right deep in the depths of the middle of the city of London, where I live right now. It's been the most gorgeous 2 days of the year. It's been sunny and insanely beautiful weather. I feel like I'm on a tropical island here, on the sandy beaches of Hawaii. So yeah, now going on to the second part, like I said, the second topic of this podcast, and that is mental health. So there are 4 to 5 rough things that you need to remember, okay, in this quarantine time in curfew, because most people are in lockdown right now. Some people are getting a bit down, feeling a bit down, whatever, feeling a bit isolated, and so on and so forth, and just which is natural for all humans. Because humans are social, creatures. We are social animals, and we were built to discover. That's what we were here for. We were built to go outside and interact with other human beings. Form relationships, and create relationships, and do work. Create working environments, working atmospheres. So if we're stuck inside, most of us, and for many months, something like we've never seen or experienced really before in our lifetimes, nor our ancestors' lifetimes ever, in terms of our most recent previous generations, to be honest. So now that I think about it, probably ever, right? Like all the way back in history, this has not happened. Humans have not been confined into being inside in a solitary space, especially for these long periods of this amount of time. So yeah, so 4 to 5 things. Number one, you need to have a purpose. So you need to have a reason for your life in general, right? Why you're getting up every day. You need to, and what that means is you need to have a project that you are working on. Or, for example, you need to have your own business, right? That you're running, something that's going to generate wealth now and in the future, whether it be an online business or any other type or form of business whatsoever that you're working on, or something like that, right? Or it may be some type of art, a piece of a project, some work. Perhaps it is some university or college work that you're studying for a particular exam, and you just want to get really good at one academic subject because in the future you would like that to be your career, or whatever it may be. Let's say you're in law and you're becoming a lawyer. Well, you need to study those things anyway if you want to in the future progress with your career and have that fulfilled. So you should do that, and that will be your purpose and goal for getting up, is to study on that a bit every day. My auntie was indeed in that industry, and you do really have to work every day for 9 years to even become a barrister and things like that. So yeah, so okay, so that's one thing, purpose, right? So I mean, you need something that you're working on, okay? You need something. You can't just be watching Netflix all day, scrolling the internet or watching YouTube. You cannot be doing these things if you have no other reason. So number one is that. Now, if you don't have that, it's good news. That's fine. And so you need to discover your purpose. You need to learn. Go on online, read some books, or go and try to learn and discover educational courses. Okay, really do some meditation. Dig deep into your mind. Think about what it is, what you want to spend your time while you're here alive on this earth doing, and what type of legacy you would like to leave behind. Okay, what's really you love about life, and what's your biggest passion? Okay, and then that will probably be something that your purpose will end up focusing on, something like that. Also, how you wish to benefit others, you, your loved ones, your family, your future generations of your family, and your future ancestors, and your just your legacy in general. Okay, so that's that. And then the second thing, for example, is to exercise. Okay, you need to. Well, this should probably be the very first one, to be honest. But yeah, you need to move your body all the time. Your body needs to be constantly mobile, constantly moving around. So if you are sitting on your chair all day long or whatever, watching on the couch, watching TV, you need to get up and be moving your body around. Do some stretches, do some yoga, do some dancing. Put the radio on, put Spotify on, put Apple Music on, do some dancing, around the living room with your family or whatever. And you need to, for example, I play football, for example, in my room. I literally have a football in my room. I have some juggling balls, so I do some juggling. I do my weights in my room. I have my barbells, so I can do my gym weights. So even though the gyms are closed right now, I can still do my workouts inside of my room if it's a rainy day, and so on and things like that. Okay, so yes, you need to be keeping your body moving, because body needs to keep mobile, it needs to keep flexible, and it needs to keep healthy and well. Also, as a little side note to that, you should add on eat clean and stick to clean and healthy foods. Eat healthier than ever, right? So don't just lose your discipline and think, you know what, it's in quarantine now, I'll just go for the bag of crisps, right? Like, it's time to relax, like, people are chilling, it's quarantine. No, this is the time when you deliberately throw that bag of crisps into the bin, and you keep all of the clean foods, okay? And obviously don't actually throw it in the bin, but you know what I mean, guys. You basically ignore the unhealthy foods and keep to the clean, and just eat really clean and fresh every day. Keep your mind concentrated, stay focused. So that was part of the second one, and the third one, okay, is stay connected, keep socialized. We're born to, like I said, we're social creatures. We're born to socialize and speak to others on a day-to-day basis and interact with other humans. Now, we can still do that inside via however way you want to: text, video call, or messaging family or friends, or loved ones, or just anyone that matters to you. Remember to do that every day, okay? Because we can often forget, if we're being in isolation or whatever, to not interact with people. Very important for your emotional and sort of your mental well-being. And then, so we have those 3 points here about what to do in terms of those 3 things. And then the fourth one, okay, is very important, if not the most. Sleep, okay? Wake up and go to sleep at the same time every day. Keep your routine strong and healthy in your mind. This is something that's been helping me a lot, actually. Is getting up nice and early, okay? And as if you've never had something to get up for more before, because you need to program yourself and tune yourself for success, okay, before it's even the time for it, so that when the time comes, you will already be prime tuned, okay, and ready, like a good sportsman, getting ready for that Olympic race. He's so ready. He's already run 100,000 races. That Olympic one, when the bell goes, it's just easy for him. It's like clockwork. Barely has to do anything. Already knows what to do. Okay. So this is the type of training your mind, switching your mentality into these types of ways for success. And if you do all these four things, I promise you will have a much more focused, happier mind, cleaner energy, and a kind of raw focus during this pandemic and isolation period that we are going through in order to keep your mind happy and healthy, and then keep it sane. So those are my little sort of mental health tips. Very helpful and important. Strongly recommend you guys doing these things if you are not doing them already. Expose yourself to a bit of fresh air, even if it means going outside of your front door, by the way, and onto the porch. Your body needs sunshine, and let the sun shine in your face. Just try to go out for a little while, get some fresh air. If you can't do that, open the window, lean out of the window, just for a little bit each day, okay? The third thing, guys, that I would like to talk about here on this podcast, I'd like to finish it off with, is for creators, okay? So this is higher level kind of stuff right now. This is advanced seriousness. This is the essence, okay, of the whole podcast in terms of the most advanced points. And that is, okay, my guys, is, this now time, what I mean to say is this, at this time when everybody's isolating themselves, going in, withdrawing inside, doing less, working less, and just generally retreating. This is a time for a creator to be leaning in, especially for a creator, but also for an online business creator. Which is probably, you probably have some, if you're listening to this podcast in the first place, especially if you're this far in, you will have some type of inner drive or some dream or focus in you that you want, something you want to do. You should be doing that more now. Okay, because this is the perfect time to lean in to the internet, its resources and everything it has to offer. More people are using it now than ever before. More people are interacting online because everybody is indoors and online. So use this chance, if you're a creator, for example, to create double the amount of content, double down on your output, and you will get double the amount of reach, and you will have double the amount of interaction with your audience, and double down on the social media platforms. Okay, so try to diversify across all the platforms, batch record and batch produce content, pump it out there, and this gets audiences familiarized with your work, and this builds trust in your work. And this is a long-term strategy, okay, a 3 to 6 month and then longer strategy to be a really concreted content creator. You've really planted yourself as a firm content creator, that when the times get tough and things get going, and a lot of creators do less and back out, and they sort of have excuses, or they relied on teams, you can create more, okay? And that you're always there for your particular niche, your audience, and that you can produce content through the tough times. And ultimately, in the end, it's forming a habit inside of your own mind, okay, to create more. So use this opportunity now more than ever to double down, and then you can come out at the end of this for your business, for your future brand building on top, in order to have built the groundwork and the framework, really. So that's just a little bit of motivational and positive advice. This is really key, guys. You have to be using this time now to lean in. It's all in. You have all this spare time in your hands. Of course, you want to be creating content, double the maximum amount of content than before. So I hope you all got some huge value from this once again on these podcasts. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you have found it entertaining. My voice is a little bit crackly today because I've got a little bit of a sort of crackly sort of throat, a bit of a rusky throat. But anyway, regardless, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this podcast once again. If you are in Brazil, if you are in Spain, if you are in Italy, America, England, listening to this right now, any country, I wish you well, and I hope that your country does good and gets through these times together, you and your people, with you leading the way and influencing people with your content. So take care, my friends. I hope you have enjoyed, and we shall speak to you soon on the next podcast. Bye bye.